March is National Nutrition Month, and today we are joined by Rachel Johannick, a clinical dietitian and certified specialist in oncology nutrition at the Georgia Cancer Center. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. Of course.
So we have you here to talk to us about National Nutrition Month. Let's go ahead and start with what that is and what's the theme this year.
Yeah, so National Nutrition Month is an annual campaign and celebration by the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics to promote nutrition awareness and health. And like you mentioned, every year has a theme. So this year's theme is Beyond the Table, which is promoting not just healthy eating, but also factoring in the environment when you're making those choices.
And one of the areas that everyone is struggling right now is eating healthy on a budget. So do you have any suggestions for this?
I certainly do. So one to start with is trying to eat a little bit more at home. I know we tend to be all on the go and tend to get food out, but you definitely can save a little bit money if you're doing more at the house. While you're thinking about that, the best thing you can do is meal plan. So you can make grocery lists to kind of go with that. You can think about the different recipes. If you have something that you'll buy more of than you necessarily need, you can use that into the next recipe so you have less waste too. But also when you have a grocery list, you tend to stick to that list a little bit better than if you just kind of go in with an idea into the grocery store. You tend to come out with a lot more things in your cart than you necessarily need.
Very true.
So that's all really helpful for the budget. But you can also take advantage of sales. So it's good to peruse the stores that you're thinking of shopping at the most and see what they have on sale. You may only need like a pound of chicken that week, but if they have, a bulk container of chicken that's on a good price, that's worth go ahead and spending now, and you can freeze portions for later to save on.
Right.
And don't go to the grocery store when you're hungry.
Yes,
You'll
that's another great
more.
tip for sure.
Rachel, you mentioned environment at the beginning. Obviously, there are ties to everything with that, correct?
Yes, I mean, the environment is quite literally how we get our food, from the produce being grown there or things like grains being given to the livestock. And so it's important to kind of think about that when we're making our food choices. The best way you can make a good environmental impact is thinking about how local you can shop. If it has to travel from far, then it's definitely going to have more of an impact on the environment versus if it's much more to the area. And we're in a fortunate space where pretty much all the counties around us have farmers markets that are getting ready to start back up. And they run a lot longer than, say, if you're in the Midwest too. They usually run into like October, November. So we have a lot of farmers that you can get that local produce from, and including things like eggs and honey and even some of the meat as well. So that's a great way of shopping to do that, keeping the environment in mind. You can also think about that food waste as well. So the less you're having to put into the trash, the less of an environmental impact you're having with that as well.
Love that. Great tips. Yeah, but what about getting bored with the food choices? I feel like healthy food is always like the same thing, but it can be different too, right?
Right, yes. Everyone thinks that, it's just I got to eat a salad every day, and salads are great, but that's not what you necessarily have to do. One of the best ways to kind of get variety is really think about your herbs and spices that you're using. A lot of different ethnic cuisines overlap with the main ingredients in terms of like the protein and the vegetables and grains, but where they differ a lot is either how it's prepared or the herbs and spices they're using. So you can think about that when you're making that shopping list too. You may have similar ingredients on the list, but you're also making sure to kind of get a little variety with that different spice.
All right, good points, good points. And if people would like to learn more about this for National Nutrition Month, where can they go?
So you can go to eatright.org, which is the Academy's website, and they have National Nutrition Month all over the front page with that. You can also just search National Nutrition Month and it'll take you right there as well.
Okay, good to know. Rachel, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you so much.